All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. It is Friday, July 19th, OPEX Day. Glad to be with you. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you love these videos. Really appreciate all the support and all your questions, of course. Trying to get the subscriber base or the subscriber number to 10,000. So that starts with you hitting that button. So thank you so much. Let's get to it. Dow futures are down 67 points. NASDAQ is up 41. The S&P is up 8.5 points, up 0.15%. The Russell is up about a quarter point at the moment. And this is now we're bouncing off the lows. Overnight, there was a worldwide issue with airlines that had to be grounded, banks' systems were down, and it was due to a crowd strike. I don't know if it was a technical error or if it was a hack of some kind. Microsoft systems were down, like Windows. So that caused a flush overnight for the most part. Let's go ahead and bring it up here. All right. So let's go and bring up the 5 minute here. This will give us a little bit more more context. So overnight, nothing's going on. Friday, right at 2 a.m. is where we started getting that headlines regarding the outage. Pullback to 55.68, which is pretty much near yesterday's lows. And now we're bouncing pretty much to where we were yesterday's close. Fun. Fun. So it looks like it seems to be working out. The CEO of CrowdStrike said everything is fine. In terms of the S&P on the 1 hour, if we kind of stretch it out here, bouncing right off the 20-day moving average. Guys, you need to embrace volatility. Volatility, I know a lot of people get a little nervous about it, but that's really where the money is made. The money is made on volatility. So these kind of crazy swings, we need that. It's easier to trade this way in a weird way compared to just melting up to all-time highs where you really don't have a target. So for the time being now, we're going to use this 20-day moving average. Let's say 5,600. 5,600 holds, we're going to see if we bounce. Maybe we get a short covering. The NASDAQ has been taking a hit, the last couple of days? Maybe those bears are ready to throw in the towel, taking some profits. That causes stocks to rise. Let's go to NASDAQ. NASDAQ holding on to this level here, right around 20,000. So NASDAQ for the time being, let's look at it this way. 20,000 was that support, and we sliced below it. And then we kind of fought a little bit of price action, wide price action here. And now we're in this morning, but yet we are yet to crack 20,000. Now, obviously, that's probably due to Microsoft and CrowdStrike. They're both down this morning, but you could still see that previous support becomes resistance. So if we reject 20,000 again, let's say we sell the RIP for an example, and we don't get that short covering, what's a target that we would keep an eye on? Right around 716. This is the contract rollover. So we had that gap. That's a price difference just in the contract. Now, the good news is that the saying, all gaps usually fill, 80% of gaps usually fill. Well, with that being the case, we still haven't filled that. That's around 716. So let's use that as our second level of support, where if we can stay below 20,000, maybe we get to, maybe we get below 19.9, maybe 19,850, we can target 700 as our floor and then see if buyers defend that level. And if they do, we have a nice resistance to target of 20,000. So what we're getting a lot of is just flipping of support and resistance. And the key for a trader is to be so fluid and be so quick, ready to go on what the possibilities may entail based on where we are in the price. I mean, other than the worldwide outage issue, what real headlines have come out that's changed the market? Fundamentally, let's be honest. What you may have the labor market starting to crack a little bit. You have a Fed that's already saying that they're going to cut rates in September. So we're pretty much baking that in. We do have earnings coming up. About 83% of companies have beat their earnings. Let's take a look at Netflix. Netflix, I said that it was going to pull back, and it did, just post market to 600, which I thought it would. And now it's up about $5. So it wasn't exactly the best trading setup, hence why I didn't trade this. But if you had out of the money calls or out of the money puts or even a straddle, you pretty much just gave away premium because it's chopping at this moment. So listen, good on Netflix. I was reading that call. I was reading some of the earnings on it. and their operating gross margin, I believe, was right around 36%. So I think that gained about 200 basis points. So maybe that's what the market is hanging on, the ad tier buying. So again, listen, if you're a tech investor, the Netflix call was a good thing. And yes, expectations are high, and they mentioned that. But at least we're holding up technically. So at least fundamentals and technicals haven't completely been disconnected, which would be a little more of a difficult endeavor to trade. So again, I just wanted to say that. So Netflix, at least that takes care of business. We'll see how the price action is this morning. That's where the volume comes in, obviously. And we'll see if there's any opportunities there because they are pretty much linked to QQQ. So we'll see what we get there. Bring up ES here. So I have Netflix here. I have Upstart calls. Let's take a look at that. Now, yesterday we did break my level of support. You could see it here. Bring up the daily. But we are bouncing off the 200-day. Now, this is where it gets difficult to make decisions because there's times where I may have closed too early and then we go to the level I want. And then you have times where you hold too long and then it just reverses on you. So it's kind of like having that balance. Granted, we see the 1, 2, 3 triple top, and then we had one daily candle, guys, one daily candle that changed everything. Now, to me, one daily candle does not create a trend, but we have to be cautious. So again, I wanted to wait the day. Let's see how the session goes and see if we can get a weekly candle in, obviously. And we're right on the 50-week moving average. So I'd hate to sell right where we're at support. I still expect that Upstart has more room. Once we break, we did fill this gap though, but once we break the highs, we have next level resistance right here at 35.69. So that's pretty much our money target. I went ahead and posted that there. So I'm going to wait on this one. I'm going to hold it and we'll see how the 200-day moving average, if it does hold and if that 50-day moving average holds. So I'm going to give it a little bit. I'm going to give it a day. Let's give it the day and see if it can prove to us that it's got the right price action that we want. All right, let's answer some questions. Would you buy VOO now or wait for a pullback? The family restaurant asks. I actually had a question similar to that on the option signals chat. And I said, really, kind of in terms of investing long term, VOO, SPY, Qs, it's pretty inconsequential. This is just a pullback, of course. I still believe the stock market is going to be higher by the end of the year. We have not topped. So it's kind of like, pick the time that you want because we are in a bull market. So if you want to buy VOO now, absolutely. Could you get a lower price? Absolutely. Will it matter? Not really. Best way I can say it. So I would say green light, go for it. Josh asks about Tesla. Short target. Let's see it. Pretty much just kind of pulling back a little bit. We talked about this daily possible double top here, or you can say it's a big cup and then we're building a handle. Really what I have is an alert here at 231.49. If that breaks, then I want to target this gap fill, but be careful of this trend line here. This could be just tagged and bounced. So a retest of the trend line 227, 224 zone. Not at a point where I want to short Tesla quite yet. Hood levels to break. Yep, and that's high beta name that I have open. We traded it earlier this week. We are holding up this trend line at least, and we're green this morning. So we are bouncing off the 20-day, very similar to S&P futures. Just a very ugly day yesterday, and it's happened many times. So again, did not change trend. We need to get above 24 again, recapture it. Just the day before, we were at 52-week highs. It was just yesterday was not a good day in terms of price action in the market. High betas took a hit, small caps took a hit, NASDAQ took a hit. You name it, it got hit. Let's see. I got NVIDIA puts. Let's look at it. Yeah, listen, NVIDIA does look good to short, but it's right at that 50-day too. So, and I put a green line on it showing that it's possible support. 117.80 is my alert to maybe target that 50-day, but a nice bounce yesterday. We might fill this gap here at 125, so or 124.58. The last thing I want is us ping pong here, and then NVIDIA is just going to be something we're going to have to ignore for the time being. At the airport. Oh, safe travels, safe travels. Elf and Tost, if you have time. I don't know if you mean cost, like Costco. Let's see, Elf. All right. Elf here, you have the red line being the 200-day moving average. You can use that as your support. If you're looking at trading this name, it did bounce about $2, $3. So looks like we're just getting that short covering. Maybe at least this morning, where all the people who were short the past 2 days, they're probably going to cover their positions on a expiry Friday. So we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce here. Nothing to get too excited for, but you could see if you are just kind of looking at it as a long-term perspective, Route 160 is your support there, and then you have TOST, Toast. Never heard of them. I do like Toast, but I never heard of the stock. Kind of an upward trend here. You're above the 20-week moving average. 30 would be my target if we continue this kind of trend, but I don't think we're going to get to like 70 anytime soon. But 30 would be a key level there for sure for resistance. Slowly and surely climbing out, but pretty much dead money for 2 years. Happy Friday, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Every day is a good day, man. Let's talk about Upstart. Yeah, I just talked about that one. Yeah, that one big red candle. So again, today's focus will be, can we hold the 200-day? That's really my focus on this. Want to get above 29.65. And this is not a name we trade often. It was really just momentum as we went higher. And we didn't get the momentum again just yesterday. Just really bad timing on that one. Yesterday's pullback. Is the dollar poised to pass the 200 DMA? Let's look at it. Yeah, we're below it. And listen, the dollar index has been rather choppy as we've been watching. The blows here are 103.65. The dollar will move end of the month with the FOMC when they have their rate decision. So understand that there is risk that we might get a rate cut in July, and not a lot of people are talking about that. So again, let's not be surprised. The dollar right now, we may get a little consolidation as we get into the FOMC. We want to hear any kind of hints that the Fed has. Guys, if they cut rates, the dollar is going to fall. And that's pretty much what we want if we are equity bulls, in which we are. So really, the dollar at the moment, to me, is going to be rather inconsequential unless we start breaking above 106, which I don't foresee happening. You also have the Japanese doing a lot of interventions in regards to the yen market or foreign currency. So maybe the dollar kind of chops around until I believe it was July 30th or until July 30th, which is the FOMC rate decision day, end of the month. So that's where we will get the move on the dollar, in my opinion. You're welcome. You're welcome, Ryan. You just answered painless. Let's take a look at SPY. Yeah, SPY's right at the 20-day. So use that as your support. Say 55105. It's bouncing off it. It's looking like we're going to get a bounce today, guys. It's just looking like it, where the OPEX kind of the closing of shorts. Now, again, obviously I could be wrong, but if I am, the good indicator on SPY would be 55105. So that would be below the 20-day, and then we can short to 542.60. And then, hey, the summer doesn't get so hot and we start correcting a little bit. That's fair. We'll see what we get, but let's just take advantage of the opportunity is my deal. Let's talk about Mara. Mara I have open. It's green this morning, and again yesterday took a hit, just like every single small cap yesterday. This was yesterday's price action. The day before was kind of chop, but again, we hit this earlier today, this week as well. Again, the trend line still holding up in terms of that wedge. So 2250 being the next support. We're bouncing a bit. It's going to be based on this guy right here, Bitcoin. And again, you're holding the trend line. We've traded this before. 66,500 is the next target. We need the dollar to come down a little bit, but we're seeing risk assets like Bitcoin, the riskiest of all assets, cryptocurrency, catching a bid. That's usually a good sign for equities. We may get a nice little push into stocks today. And then Bitcoin moves, Mara moves. We'll take that money today and ride into the sunset for the weekend. That's what it's looking like to me anyways. Let's see, CrowdStrike. All right, so we're at 302. You're right here. It is a breakdown. Now, here's the question. Does it affect earnings? Could it be a buy the dip opportunity? Yeah, absolutely. If you want to own this name, Crowd, that would be the one. And you're breaking down off this upward channel, 288 next support, and after that around 280. But if you're someone that's really want to kind of take advantage of the headlines, Crowd's going to go higher. It's very integrated in our system. It's not like they're going to go bankrupt tomorrow. So yes, you may get some weakness because headlines, but headlines happen all the time. Seems that everything worked out. Not a bad idea. I'll keep an eye on the options market for a possible reversal. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Any updates on AMD? AMD, I am not in any trades on. The only issue here is that it's below this trend line here. And I have an alert at 152.24, so I can target 140 because that would be the breakdown of the trend line below the 200-day. And then we're right around here. That's what we're looking for. But nothing yet. No. And it's still within this wide channel as well. So possibility of around 123 looks very familiar to Tesla, doesn't it? Remember Tesla, big downward channel? Could be it, where we start getting some weakness here. And then once we get to 120, we'll see if we hold. Again, let's not get too excited. Break below 152.24. I like AMD for puts. How's that? Morning, boss. Do you think we catch Palantir today? Yeah, let's take a look at it. Yeah, and I do expect stocks to move higher today. Again, the way I'm seeing Bitcoin moving higher, again, that's more risk on. You can see the Dow is down. Maybe that's American Express earnings. Energy's down. Gold is down. Gold is not down when people are panicking. So, you can see the NASDAQ moving higher. Again, the OPEX theory of, hey, maybe, just maybe, people are closing up their shorts today. But with Palantir, we can see the daily breakout. What more can we say? Still, the trade is here, right here to 31.32. That's the gap fill on the monthly. So, or is it the weekly? Excuse me. But I just have to stretch it out a little bit. But yeah, I'm still expecting us to get there. 31.38 gap fill. More than likely, probably the place to take your profits. And again, this is a name that we've been trading since $20 in terms of options, or even before that. So Palantir has been very good to us. X4. So I'm excited for it. Thank you, Dylan. All right. Thank you guys for all the questions. Again, have a great rest of your morning. Have a great rest of your weekend. And let's make it the best kind of way to end the week with some money in our pocket, right? NVIDIA and Amazon did not work out for us. I'll go over that on the weekly video. Tough. We just got melted down with mega cap, and we're going to make that up. That's for sure. IWM did, thankfully. But we'll go over each trade on the weekly video, guys. Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your morning. I will see you guys over the weekend. Cheers.